लेट गए उन लोग को सुला दे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So I welcome all of you for today's session. It is the 8th session in the course Śāstra Pramāṇa. So in yesterday's class, we discussed non-defective Shabda is nothing but the Śāstra. It is Śāstra. That Śāstra is nothing but Veda. So like this, we concluded in the yesterday's class. So just quickly, 2 minutes we'll be recapping. So non-defective Shabda. So what are the different criteria? So has to be followed by the non-defective Shabda. That means non-defective Shabda, it cannot be just some individual's opinion. So I will define my non-defective Shabda and I will follow. This is the Pramāṇa. So like that, so we cannot give freedom to everyone. It should be accepted by everyone. It's not that so you will define and everyone should accept. So first and foremost thing is, it has to be accepted by everyone. Otherwise, it's difficult. If there are these 10 people, 10 different opinions about their non-defective Shabda, and then it is difficult to decide. So that's why it should be what? It should be acceptable to everyone. It should be having such a power actually. And this non-defectiveness, how to verify this? By using any other Pramāṇas, can we verify? No. We cannot verify non-defectiveness by the other Pramāṇas. Then if you say like that, then after that what will happen? So that non-defective Shabda is depending on the other Pramāṇas, and so that it cannot be independent, so that it cannot correct others, or otherwise it cannot become the king for others. It cannot overrule others. It cannot order others. Because we saw non-defective Shabda should be a king. And other Pramāṇas are like the servants. This is the discussed thing. That kind of non-defective Shabda, which is independent, that kind of non-defective Shabda only, so can be the king. So that means independent. King means he should be independent. Non-defective Shabda should be independent. So, but that's why if you say non-defective Shabda is that one which is verified by the Pratyaksha and others, then it is a dependent and it cannot be non-defective Shabda. So that's why thus the Shabda being approachable by Pratyaksha becomes dependent on the other Pramanas. Hence, it has the difficulty of not being a Pramana. Because those Pramanas are not always acting as Pramana and it is dependent on that. This non-defective Shabda is dependent on that. Then ultimately what will happen? Then this non-defective Shabda also will not act as Pramana in certain cases, in some cases, in some situations. So that's why, so you have to see non-defective Shabda is completely independent. And it is a self-evident. And no other one is there to approve it. It should be self-evident. So that's why what we are understanding in this material world, so by using the Pratyaksha and Anumana Pramanas and so on so, if anyone bring out the non-defective Shabda, this cannot be a non-defective Shabda. So maybe the researching scientist and they are trying to explore the nature and they want to so finally come up with the ultimate knowledge, perfect knowledge. Is it possible? It is not possible. And such a statements of the scientist, we cannot consider it as a non-defective Shabda which can independent and it can correct the other Pramanas. It can overrule and it can approach the objects which cannot be reached by the Pratyaksha and Anumana. It's a very important point. So Jiva Goswami very systematically he is so making the everyone to be convinced towards the Shastra Pramāṇa. It is very, very so a special approach actually. It's a very unique approach he is so following here, Srila Jiva Goswami. So we are coming to the many, many truths actually. So that's why, so in this material world, so for scientists, it's a big logic actually. They cannot crack it all this. We want such a Pramāṇa which can correct because we are all knowing that our Pratyaksha and Anumana are the defective because of the 4 defects of the human beings. And we want someone very pure one, which is independent one, which can cure, which can correct all these Pramanas. Because these Pratyaksha and others, they are not acting as a Pramana forever. They are acting as a Pramana in certain time and they are not acting. So that's why we need such a Pramana, which can correct all this. Then who is that? Can we say, so after using this Pratyaksha and Anumana, so whatever the knowledge is attained are derived from these 2 Pramanas. And also, because these 2 are the only main, all other 7 are nothing but the different forms of these 2 only. So then can we say like that? That means these 2 are establishing something, some Shabda and that can be the non-defective? It is not. It cannot. And that is going to correct this Pratyaksha and Anumana? No. This is impossible actually. So that's why non-defective Shabda should be something different from these 2. That means this origin of that non-defective Shabda should not be so any Laukika Pratyaksha. That means any Pratyaksha which is, which is used by the Avaidusha. And that non-defective Shabda should be telling about entire universe. It's not that it is telling about something. It should be telling about entire universe. And it is going to give, if you learn that non-defective Shabda and you are getting all the scholarship, all kinds of scholarship. And it should be so powerful and it can describe everything in this whole universe. From the small atom to the big Brahmanda. And even the outside the Brahmanda also it should explain. Because we want to make him as a king. We already said that non-defective Shabda is the king. So we said that it is as a king. Then to make him king, he should be qualified. Na? So he should be approaching all the objects in this whole creation and also beyond the creation. So that's why, and also which alone gives supreme scholarship to purify pratyaksha. That means, and also it can correct, because these pratyaksha and adi other pramanas, they commit mistake. That means they may not act as a pramana. That means they produce aprama. So immediately this non-defective shabda should correct it. And also which is self-accomplished. And also it should be independent. It should be from the beginningless. It should be from the beginningless. It should not from the someday it is started. If it is started someday means it is having the some origin. That means someone has created. Non-defective shabda should be beginningless. Why non-defective shabda should be beginningless? So, you know this? Can anyone tell why non-defective shabda should be beginningless? Yes, Vishal.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So if if we say that it begins from some time, it means that there was no humanity before that, but that is not correct. So it has to be beginningless.
Okay. Next, Padmavati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. It is Ananta Prabhuji, Ananta, forever.
Non-defective shabda should be anadi. That means it should be,
yes.
it should be beginningless. Why?
It is created by Godhead. Godhead is Ananta.
Not Dr. Prakash Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Something that has a beginning always has an end.
Yes.
So, I mean, something that begins always is destroyed. So it should be beginningless. It should not begin at some point. Otherwise, it will also end at some point. So we want something which is Purna.
That means this non-defective shabda is finished. So then what will happen?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can you come again?
If it is beginning, it is having beginning. That means it is also having the ending. So then what will happen?
Yes. At the time of the ending, it will not remain as non-defective shabda. So you want something which is universal, permanent, and Purna. All three criteria together. So it should not have a beginning, it should not have an end.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So Anuj, Anju.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. So anything which has a beginning can have like a defect. And when it is non-defective, that means there cannot be any defect. And so if it ends, that means it won't be eternal. It won't produce the same result again and again. So non-defective has to produce the same result, which is defectless and which has to be eternal, anadi.
Non-defective shabda, if it is having the beginning, then what kind of akshepa? That means what kind of, so akshepa means what we say in English, akshepa.
So when there is a beginning and then there has to be an end, when there is an end, that means it is not eternal. That means it is not going to be the same throughout it won't be the same like with the time, place and circumstance. So there has to be a disruption.
Okay, that is okay. But I want to really something I'm expecting. Satyavrata Prabhu. Let us see who will reach that.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Pranam Prabhu.
So if it is beginning means it is started after creation only. So that means it will be created by a person or group of persons who have these 4 defects. So when there is
the beginning means after creation, you are taking it's like a granted. Beginning means it's after creation.
Yes.
Okay, it's a one possibility. But simply tell me, if it is having the beginning, then what problem will come? Something you gave, some different answer you gave, it's good actually. I accept that. Okay, we'll see. It
will not be able to sustain itself.
That is okay. That's over already. That is accepted actually. That is accepted. Everyone said and that is accepted. Even some more input we may get there. Means that's why. Nama Avatar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, that means it is not independent and it is dependent on all these 9 pramanas.
No, not 9 pramanas. It is not independent. This is the breaking actually. That means if it is having the beginning, it cannot be independent. This is the want. This I want actually.
Yes.
Someone is creating. That means, well, then what will happen? So already all of your points are accepted actually. Nobody is saying wrong actually. Nobody said the wrong. Everyone said rightly and also very good. So this is also one point I am expecting actually. It cannot be independent actually. Then you have to inquire. That means then, then that person is created. Then he created, then that means, then what kind of things he used, and whether he's the out of 4 defects or not, and who will tell about whether he's having 4 defects or not. Then who is Pramāṇa for him? Then that means you'll be stuck in a loop actually. Yes or no? If you say it is created by someone, then who will answer? He is not having any defect. If you say this Veda only will tell, this is created by him and it is telling about him, then what is this? It is like a egg and hen. Egg came from the hen and hen came from the egg. So it will not work actually. Nobody is going to accept this. So this point I am expecting actually. If you say non-defective Shabda is created by someone, and how I can trust on him and who is he? Then if you say this Veda only will tell, this Veda will tell, and which is created by him, then he will write on that. He will write on that I am the supreme and I am the best. Then why I have to accept? It should be self-evident. It should be self-evident. It should not be evidence. It should not be having the evidence from someone, then gone. It cannot be independent. Understood? Everyone understood this? Okay, put down the hands. This is the point actually. So that's why we have to challenge any scientist. If you want to challenge, so you have to go like this actually. You have to go like this. So that's why it cannot be. So that means Adi. It should be Anadi. It should be Anadi. It should not be created by anyone. So that's why we say Vedas are not created by anyone. If you say created by the Lord, then who is that Lord? You will ask. That means someone doesn't know Lord. And why he has to accept Lord? Then you will say that Veda is telling you should accept. Then it is created by him and it is telling about him. Then what is this? So that's why Veda is Anadi. There is no beginning. And it is like how Lord is existing, Veda is also existing from the beginningless. No, don't use the time immemorial. No, time immemorial means it is having the beginning. That means a long time back, means some starting is there. So that's why you should say Anadi means no Adi means no beginning. Beginningless only you should use the word. Okay. So please put down the hands. I'm not going to take any questions now.
Prabhu, can I say one thing more?
I'm not going to take any questions now, please.
I'm not giving question. I'm not asking question. I just want to say something regarding this only, what you said in the previous class. Can I say?
Okay. You are forcing me. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
So, okay, next. I will definitely give for discussion if you have anything on you want to discuss. So we'll definitely start that discussion after whenever I give the time. So you can, because I have some fixed flow in my mind. So let it go on. So it's otherwise it will be deviated here and there and my flow will be broken. Okay. So next. What else? It should not be, it should be beginningless. This is the reason, which is self-accomplished. It is self-accomplished means self-evident. It's a self-evident. It's a self-evident and self-accomplished. It is a self-accomplished. So, tacha eva eda anadi siddha. Anadi siddha. That means from the beginningless, it is there. You cannot say that one day it is created. Like how Lord is there, like how the Jivatma is there. Similarly, Vedas are also there from the Anadi Kala. There is no Adi for it. And we want such a, so Pramāṇa. Our Pramāṇa should be like that, which is surpassing all these Pramāṇas, which can correct all of them. And also which is root for all Pramāṇas. And is collection of Mahavakyas. Okay, this is also discussed. And that kind of Pramāṇa, non-defective Shabda, is nothing but what? Vedas. Vedas are, Vedas are Anadi. That means they are perfect, which is perfect without any beginning. They are without beginning. And they are perfect also. Siddhaha, Anadi Siddhaha. It's Apaurusheya. It is not made by any Purusha. We are not saying that Lord is made. If you say, but it is a manifestation of the Lord energy. That's why there is a dependency is there. But like how Lord is existing, like how his energy is existing for eternally from the beginningless, this is also energy of the Lord. And is in the form of sound. This energy is in the form of the sound. Jivatma is in the form of Tatasa Shakti. And Prakriti is in the form of the Bhairanga Shakti. All these are all there from the beginningless. And if you say, I don't want to accept this, if someone says, why I have to accept, I don't accept. Then you show me. You show me some mean where you can replace this in this whole universe. You cannot show this. It's impossible for anyone. So this is only the mean actually. Like that we discussed, and even so Śāstra given by the Lord, the other is Śāstra made by the Lord like Ayurveda, is also considered as a Veda because that Ayurveda is strictly following the Vedas. That's why it is known as Upaveda. And it can be considered as Śāstra. No problem. If anything is following the Veda, that is also considered as Śāstra. If anything, any philosophy is following the Vedas, then that is considered as Śāstra. If it is not following, then it is not, it is Asastra. It is unauthentic. So that's why reference is what? Reference is the Veda. That is a non-defective Shabda, which is self-evident and which is from the beginningless, it is perfect. Nobody refined it. Nobody worked on it and refined it. No. It is from the beginningless, it is perfect. So one should not say that. So even Lord's statement, so sometimes based upon time and place and circumstance, he will be saying the different things. But that's why you cannot say that Lord's statement is the Pramāṇa, is the non-defective Shabda. It's not true all the time. So example is Buddha. But the statements of the Veda are always true. Are always true. You will be seeing Vedas means now you are thinking that it's a big book. Then in that big books and how to come to especially in the Kali Yuga, we cannot study all the Vedas. And also we are not having the availability of all the Vedas. Then what is the solution? So who is the representative of all these Vedas? That is nothing but the Itihasas and Puranas. Itihasa Purana Abhyam Vedam Samupabhrumhayet. So that's why we are going to consider in the future discussion, not in this course actually, That may be the next course actually. So establishing, so Srimad Bhagavatam as the highest Pramāṇa. So in the way, now we came till the point of the Vedas as the non-defective Shabda. In that Vedas also, because there is no availability of all these Vedas and there is no one, that means can, so all the Vedas are not available, one thing. Second thing is, so even it is available, it's very difficult to interpret because so Pandit, every scholar is interpreting differently that. Then what is the solution actually? Even you have non-defective Shabda as a Veda, but still you have the problem. So how to then solve your problem? Then who is speaking these Vedas? So that means who is speaking, that means whatever the essence is there in the Vedas as it is, then that is nothing but the Nigama kalpa taror galitam phalam sukamukadam rutatrava samyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvibhavukaha. So the systematically Jiva Goswami takes you from the Vedas to the Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the next part of the course. That can be a big course actually. It is also having a systematic discussion. How to, that means to replace Vedas with the Srimad Bhagavatam is one of the extensive discussion. So now we have to discuss today so many other points. So in this point number 8, Vachaspati Mishra is telling in the connection of the Shabda Pramāṇa and the Pratyaksha. I am not touching this now. So I will see, because we have today is the 8th, today, tomorrow and day after tomorrow. We have 3 sessions only. And in these 3 sessions, I will be covering which can be easily digestible for all of you. And also, so it important because a lot of discussion is done actually. Because if we speak like this, other Nayayikas and other schools, they will come and attack on us. And how to protect them this. So then for that also Jiva Goswami prepared the material for us. So we can use that. But we are not discussing now. So that's why many things are still left over. So this is the basic course, and let us see, once if you digest this, then we'll go for the next level actually. Even that means no one can defeat this philosophy. So such a strong fencing is made by the Srila Jiva Goswami. So I am skipping some portions of this. The discussions done by the Srila Jiva Goswami in the Sarva Samvadini. I am jumping to that means I am jumping from that means if time permits and if I get the time, then point number 8 I will discuss. Point number 8, I will share my screen. Where is the point number 8? You may ask this. So you see Anucheda number 2, in the Anucheda number 2. So the point number 8, some extent you can easily understand, that I will discuss later. Point number 8, but you can read if you have so energy and time, and if you are able to, then you can do that. Otherwise, if time permits, then I will explain. Okay, now come to the next. Directly, I am going to the F. You go to the F. This is the thing, F. Are you able to see my screen? Yes, this is the thing. So what is said here? Today's discussion is from here. Nanu arvajana samvadadi darshanat katham tasya anaditvadi. There is a very good question actually. When I say Vedas are anadi, everyone should get one question in their mind. What is that question? Anyone get the question? If I say Vedas are anadi, you should get one question in your mind. Yeah, Virendra Kumar, tell me.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, we say that Veda are manifested through Vyasdev ji. So how can we say it is from Anadi?
Okay, good question. So this question can come. And next, someone else Someone, yes, Jagan Mohini Mataji, tell me what question you will get.
That whether Vedas are eternal.
If I say Vedas are Anadi, that means they are beginningless.
Beginningless.
They are
That means they come under the category of they are eternal.
so that means general modern, that means students, what kind of question they will ask? Who has little knowledge about the Vedas, and what kind of question they can ask? Can you guess?
They're all they're existing beyond time, space, and always existing beyond time and space.
Simple question. Gita Govinda Mataji.
Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam. This you say that Panchama Veda.
No. Let us understand. Okay. You speak. What do you want to say?
Students may ask this Srimad Bhagavatam and all. It's all stories, like in certain frame of time it happened. It is describing history.
Yes.
And how we can deal with that?
Good. Students will ask. Vedas means it is having the Akhyanas and Upakhyanas. That means stories. Like we said, Panchama Veda is also part of the Vedas. And these are all these we are hearing. Mahabharata is also under the Veda or not? Mahabharata is a Veda or not? I already told. Mahabharata is also known as Panchama Veda. It is not different from the Vedas. There is only one Veda. Yesterday I was explaining. So there is only one Veda, and so we segregated that as Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda. And whatever the stories are there, those are made as a Purana and the Itihasas. So now, that means all the stories, these stories like Mahabharata. So Mahabharata is also Itihasa actually here. So Mahabharata happened 5,000 years, and it is containing the 5,000 years story. 5,000 years back happened story. So how it can be Anadi? Huh? This question will come or not? Ravindra Sachiputra Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, but we all know that Mahabharata is happening eternally in every Pramāṇa. It is happening. So the
you are knowing, but Arvak Janaha, that means recent people.
Yeah.
And also one question Virendra Kumar also said rightly. So Veda Vyas 5,000 years back Vedas. So he compiled Vedas. So that means they are just existing 5,000 years back onwards only. Whatever BC. So that's nothing actually. Our so-called, that means Max Muller and so on, so others, they came here. They are saying this thing only. Your Vedas are just, I think these are all before Christ, maybe some 1200 years or the 1400 years are the like that. They have started commenting like this actually. That means they have just to fight this. And also our students from our India and in the universities, they are studying this and they are thinking that it's a very, wow, that means it's a new information for them. And they are also accepting these Vedas are, yes, just maybe few thousand years back that is created. And this so-and-so Rishi and that so-and-so person and these people, these English Westerns, they gave the history and we are following their history is the Pramāṇa for us. And the most important thing is we lost our culture and we lost the faith on our culture because of accepting the history given by the Westerns. This is the greatest disaster and it is happening still actually. In the university, still it is going. The history given by them is accepted as the truth actually by our students in the universities. Because of this, they don't have any faith on the Vedas. They are also considering all the stories, whatever there. So they simply thinking that it's happened maybe a few hundred years back or few thousand years back, and based upon those. And also some people, they think that some students, these stories are just a fiction. Like the so-called Western poets, they created so many stories, those fiction stories. And similarly, they think this. And because we see in the stories, stones are floating, mud is, that means earth is speaking, sky is, the sound is coming from the sky, Akashvani. These kind of things, that means that means how many, this 1,000 years back, there is no technology, how it is possible, how the earth will be speaking, how this kind of So stones are floating. Who will accept this? These are all fiction stories. That means either they accept fiction stories or otherwise they accept it as just so created by, it just happened. Some stories happened few hundred years back. And those stories are written here. And those things, that means the whatever the history is there, that is the nothing but the Veda. Mahabharata is also compilation, and Bhagavad is also compilation of the stories about the different kings. And how I can accept it is eternally existing? If we don't answer these two questions properly, nobody is going to trust your Veda. Even if you closed all the doors and you brought him to that to accept Veda as the Pramāṇa, but after accepting that, you once again they get these doubts. Yes? Yes or no? Two things. Mainly these two things. Vedas are so beginningless. Even they are containing the stories of the present, that means kings, which just happened few hundred years back, few thousand years back. Second thing is, Vedas are containing the such information, which is really, that means looking like a fiction stories, which cannot be understood by the tarka. That means example is stones are floating. By the logic, we cannot. That means the gravity of the stone so is different, and so it is pulled. Actually, if you see the water and if you keep water and the water, the stones are floating, how it is possible? The weight of the stone is more than the, what is that, water's density, water density. Then it will be floating, it will be drowning. Actually, it should drown. But here it is said that in the Vedas, Gravanaha plavante, Gravanaha plavante. Then to answer, Jiva Goswami is taking these two issues and he is answering. We'll try to deal these two things today. Okay. Please put down your hands. In Vedas, we see discussion of recent people. That means there is a conversation between the Arjuna and the Krishna in the Mahabharata. Mahabharata also is the Veda. Arjuna and Krishna, they are discussing, and which happened 5,000 years back. Then how Vedas can be eternal? Then refutation for this. Ata eva cha nityatvam. This is a Brahma Sutra actually. You know Brahma Sutras? Vedanta Sutras are also known as Brahma Sutras, which are telling about the absolute truth. These Brahma Sutras, one point, but it means first adhyaya. So, pada number 3, third pada, and 29th sutra. What is saying? This is the sutra. Ata yevacha nityatvam. This is a sutra name actually. Ata yevacha nityatvam is the sutra. For this sutra, Shankaracharya wrote the commentary. That is known as Shankara Bhashya. In that Shankara Bhashya, so that means the commentary on the sutra given by the Shankaracharya, there he used one Shruti. One Shruti. That means Veda Vakyam. So that Veda Vakyam, what it is saying? So, Yagnena Vacha Padaviyam Ayantam Anva Vindyat Rishishu Anva Vindan Rishishu Pravishtam. So this is the Shruti. Shruti means Veda, Veda Vakyam. So what is the summary of this Veda Vakyam? The sages got these Vedas by the sacrifice. You can see the more explanation of this Shruti Vakyam through the another Smriti Vakyam. In the down it is there. Yugante Nardahita Yugantenar Yugantentarhitan Vedan Setihasan Maharshayaha Lebire Tapasa Purvam Anugnata Swayambhuva. So what is the meaning of this? This is from the Mahabharata actually. Mahabharata also is a part of the Vedas. And 12 point, that means this is Parva and this is Adhyaya and this is a Sloka. So in that, what is said, that is the meaning of this. Instructed by the Brahma, meaning of this sloka is given here. Instructed by Brahma, the sages at the end of the Yuga obtained through austerity the Vedas, which had previously disappeared, along with the Itihasas. What you are understanding? So this Brahmaji is instructing these sages every day. So there is a pralaya, till where the pralaya, every day pralaya will be there. So till the Swarga, everything will be disastered actually. So that means all the Vedas are also at the time. So there is no practice, because in the daytime, so creation will be there, and when Brahma sleeps, till the jivas which are living in the Swarga, they all so also destroyed. So there will be a big fire. Then once again, that means day starts and Satyuga begins. At that time, rishis are ordered by this Brahmaji, and you all do the tapasya, and by that tapasya, which are already existing eternally, these Vedas, those you get back, those you get back actually, those you access those, like that he ordered. Then they did same and they got by that tapasya. So that means, what it mean? Vedas are all the time existing, and in every millennium, those are so got back actually, which are existing in the eternally in the sky, in this universe, also out of universe. So like Lord is exhaling, Karnanu Sai Vishnu is exhaling. So all they are pervading actually, these Vedas. And when you do the tapasya, you able to access that sound. And sages, they do tapasya and they get the access of those, and then after that they teach to their sishyas. Like this it is going on. That means what we should understand here. So even if we see the conversations in the Vedas, these conversations are again and again happening. Vedas just eternally existing. The stories, whatever are there, also eternally existing. According to those stories, the activities, that means, so the roles are taken according to those stories. Then what will happen? Then so incident will happen. Like Mahabharata Yuddha is already there in the Upanishad, in the Mahabharata. Kurukshetra Yuddha is already described in the Mahabharata, and Mahabharata is eternally existing. And what is happening now? So whenever Dwapara Yuga comes, according to the story explained in the Mahabharata, so here the event will happen. Events will happen. So then who will be coming into those roles? So whose karma is suitable to those characters, and those will be taking the role. That means, what it means, this is like script is there, and roles are there in that script. And like how in the drama, script is there, and they will be taking the roles, people will be taking the roles, and they are acting. Similarly, all these stories are repeated like that. So Prabhu, what? My life also is like that. Not your life. Your life is not in the Vedas. Okay? Don't think that you are also acting. That means, what is your name? Maybe Virendra Kumar. So Virendra Kumar Prabhu is there in the Vedas? No, actually. It's not that that role is eternally existing and he is taking. No. Ours are not described in the Vedas. So that's why whatever the events are described in the Vedas, those are only repeating actually. And other roles like you and me, these are all flow actually. It's not repeating, it is a flow. So that means, generally people, they think that Vedas are like a newspaper. The newspaper, how the news comes, incident or event happens, then after that some journalist will go there and he will observe that incident or that event, and he will write about that. So Vedas are not like that. So they are not like that. That means event happened and then after that event is described in this book. No, This is the concept, actually wrong concept given to us by the Western philosophers and Western historians. We should not follow them, actually. We should not follow them. They are cheating, actually. They cheated us. Because of this, we lost our faith on the Gurukul system. And we lost our faith on the Vedic knowledge. And because of losing the Vedic knowledge, we lost the Vedic culture. And we lost the cow culture. We lost the Brahmanical culture. We lost the values. We lost everything, actually. Just namesake, we are so-called Sanatanis and so-called Indians. But the inside, the habits and all the taste, everything is Western taste. So that means almost now you are already defeated, actually. You don't have any freedom. So freedom means what? When your culture, when that is your basic, the parampara, that means from your ancestors, whatever is culture is there. If that culture is happily is followed and happily it is practiced, and that religion and that kind of the practices and that kind of the from the ancestors, whatever you are getting, that means you are identified with that culture, you are identified with that values, you are identified with that religion, and you are leaving all that and you are accepting others, means you are already slave, actually. You are defeated, actually. You are under the slavery. So this is the happening, actually. This is because nobody is there to teach our students systematically about these things. Nobody is there to quench the intellectual thirst, actually. They have the several questions and we didn't practice, actually. We didn't study our own scriptures given by our own acharyas. And we enforce them, actually, certain things, and they become rebel, actually. Because not explaining to them properly, so then they will reject this. So they are easily conquered by the other culture, by the other religion, other philosophy, and everything, habits, everything they are learning, actually. And at a very drastically, even in our society also, it's a very bad situation. So I'm just out of concern, I'm saying, not putting anything. So we have to study books given by the Srila Prabhupada and also previous acharyas, and we should be fully equipped. So if you don't give the answer properly to when you go for preaching, if you don't give proper answers, then they will be going away even far, actually. The chance is missing, actually, to become Krishna consciousness, to become the followers of the Vedic culture. So chance is missing, actually. So because now they will understand, these people, they don't know anything. They don't have sufficient answers for my questions. Why I have to follow them? So this is the next thing they will get. Any intellectual person will get this. That means in the gradually due course of the time, in our society, there will be no intelligent people, actually. Only sentimental people will be filled, actually, here. Then after that, then there will be the fighting, actually. Then the destruction of our own society will happen. Then nobody is there to give the direction then. In the due course of the time, Sakalena Mahato Yoga Nasta Parantapa. This is the way, actually, the parampara will be lost. Parampara will be doomed, actually. So that's why we need to, so whatever the literature we give, first and foremost is Srila Prabhupada books, and then later that, the previous Acharya's books, we have to thoroughly understand. And everything is given, very systematically, everything is given. And all that means questions are that means in this whole universe, let them come any kind of the intellectual man. So those will be defeated, actually. So he can challenge, actually, that much. So knowledge and that much content is given for you. Even in the Bhagavatam, so there are so many stories, actually, so many things. So which are many people they get, and everything is clearly explained by our acharyas. Very systematically explained. Any sober man can easily accept. So only thing is we have to prepare. We cannot enforce on them something. So that is the kripa. Your pain for preparing and becoming ready for others' sake, you may not need for your sake. You might be having the faith and you are getting the relishment for the name, and no problem, actually. We are not questioning that. And you are the Vaishnava. You have to do the paropakara for others and not like you, everyone, actually. Then for them, who is going to do the help, actually? And at least for others' sake, you have to prepare for this. So I'm not saying that you have to, so now develop the faith. If you are having, because the holy name and Jivatma is by Swarupa is what? By Swarupa is meant for the serving the Lord. When it does the service, then automatically it will get the relishment from that. By naturally it will get relishment. Somehow or other, some Vaishnava's Krupa, you came to this process and you are deriving that pleasure. There is no doubt, and that because of the taste, you might be sticking to this process. We are not, so we are not at all suspecting your sadhana. We are not at all pointing you. But what about the others? Then who will take that pain actually? You have to take. Then who will propagate this sampradaya? Who will, that means, spread this mission of the Srila Prabhupada? So, okay, we'll go into the next point. So there are the several proofs. That means it's not like the newspaper, Vedas. In newspaper, how it is written, the incidents happens, or events are happening, and someone is observing and writing. It's not like that. It is eternally existing, and all the script is ready, and roles are taken, and that is played actually. Event is played. Next, tasya nitya siddhasyaiva veda shabdasya tatra tatra praveshaiva natu tat kartrukata. That means when these sages did the tapasya with the desire of what? To access that Veda, which is all pervasive. Then at that time, that whatever is existing eternally, that entered into their heart, and they started, that means propagating that to the next generations. So that means these sages are not making the Vedas. That is just entering into them. Vedas are entering into them. Then it is not made by anyone. Natu tat kartrukata. Natu tat kartrukata. So thus, the sages are not the producers of the Vedas. Rather, the Vedas, which are eternal, enter the sages and then appear through them. Similarly, the names and forms arise in each day of Brahma according to the descriptions in the eternal Vedas. So next thing is, very important thing next. Tathacha anadi siddha vedanurupa eva pratikalpam tat namadi pravrittihi. One more thing, I told every day in every kalpa. Kalpa means one day of the Brahmaji is known as kalpa. It is having the 1000 Mahayugas. Okay? After the one day, he will be going to sleep for the 12 hours. That means 1000 Mahayugas. So he'll be sleeping. So while the sleeping, he'll be winding up. If he is sleeping and the creation will not go. So he will wind up. Till where he will wind up? Till the Swargaloka he will wind up. That means from the down Patala to the Swarga, everything is wind up, means everyone will be so finished. All the jivas are burnt out. There is a big fire. So let me draw. He is sitting on the top planet actually. And behind, this is Satyaloka. And this is Tapoloka. Jana, Mahar, Swarga, Bhur, Bhuvar. Bhu. Atala. And Atala, Sutala, Vitala, all this down. Till here. Till here, what will happen? Every day of Brahma will be, all the jivas are finished. Planets will be there, but all the jivas are finished. Everything is finished. All the rivers, givers, everything is finished. All the forest, everything. And even the jivas who are there in the Maharloka. So the fire, big fire is catching actually. And because of this fire, whoever is there in the Maharloka, they also go to the top 3 planets. They come here actually. So such a heat will be produced. And these inhabitants who are there in these 3 planets, they will be having the same ayu. So like the Brahmaji, they will not be killed. That means in the one day Brahma, all the devatas also finished who are staying in the Swargaloka. And Pitru devatas, Bhutas, Bhurloka means, so Bhuvarloka means Pitru devatas, they stay, they also finished. All this, everything is finished. All things are all finished. So exactly, I don't know what finished, but no species will be there, and no rivers, no this, that. So then after that, early morning, so Brahmaji will finish his Nitya Naimittik karmas, that means Nitya Vidhis, like chanting holy name and so on, so like how you will do. Then after that, you will start business of producing that means all the jivas, where they went then? These went to the Hiranyagarbha, that means which is known as Brahmaji only. They entered all these jivas into the Hiranyagarbha along with their karma. Then if now, so when the day begins, early morning, so okay, acha, morning, that means Surya is there and morning will happen. So then wake up, he will finish his daily duties. Then all jivas who are there in him, he has to bring out them, and according to their karma, he has to give the body. He has to create all the devatas. He has to create the rivers. He has to create the forest. He has to create the trees. He has to create the humans, everything. Then how is creating? How is creating? Then you have to see. So then, Pratikalpam tannamadi pravrittihi tathahi samana nama rupatvat chavruttau api avirodho darshanat smritescha ityatra tattvavada bhashyakritbhihi srimadvacharyahi udahruta srutihi surya chandramasau dhata yatha purvam akalpayat. So here one thing, every day is happening one thing, and you have to remember one more thing. One more thing is, Brahmaji, when he takes birth, that means beginning of first day of his life. At that time, he is doing the tapasya and he is getting all the Vedas. Tene Brahma Hridayadi Kavaye. That means the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Tene means Vistar. That means he has expanded the Vedas in the heart of the so Brahmaji. So that means at that time also Brahmaji is in the everyday is creating the demigods and so on, so. And in the beginning of his life, at that time, what? At that time, even the Saptarshis are not there. That means the inhabitants of the Tapoloka, Janaloka, also nobody is there. These Saptarshis and the Rishis actually, these Prajapatis, these are not there. Chatushkumara is also not there. And also sun is not there. Chandra is not there. Nobody is there actually at that time. In the beginning day of the sun, so, Brahmaji is the first living entity actually. And all other demigods and all other the devatas and the prajapatis and also manus, everyone he only creates. That means he created the sun and the moon also at that time. sun, moon, and also at that time, all the rivers and water. He creates the water in this, all these, and also the earth and everything he creates. So at that time, so then what happens? So that's why you have mantras which are describing Brahmaji's beginning of his life. That means what he does at the beginning of his life, and mantras, what he uses for every day. Both. So now you'll be seeing those mantras. Samana rupatvacha avruttau api aviroda darshana smrutescha. What it means? It means, so samana rupa aviroda darshanacha smrutescha. So this sutra is saying that is also Vedanta Sutra. This sutra is saying that what? Brahmaji creates every day same actually. That means he creates every day Indra, name Indra, and he is the in charge of the Swarga. He creates the king and Manus and the 14 Manus, and their names are same. Every day he creates the 14 Manus. And these everyday activities, whatever he does, whatever he did in the previous day, same names he uses. And even he will call water means water only. And he will not call the water. That means he will create the water, the word, that means the liquid water with the word water. There is no samana artha and samana nama. Nama and nami, both are matching only. It's not that he is putting the name for the fire as water in this day, and next day he is creating the water with the fire. No. You're understanding? And also in the beginning of his whole day, that means at that time, the first day when he took birth. So he is creating the Surya and Chandra. And Surya means who is giving the heat. Chandra means who is giving the coolness. And he is not interchanging the names. And this Brahma is doing the same. And also after 100 years, there is another Brahma is coming and he is also doing the same. How it is possible? How it is possible? Every Brahma is doing the same and every day is doing the same. Then what is the reference for every Brahmaji? Like in the company, you do the work. So you will be doing the coding the same way actually. Same star picture, whatever is given, that only we follow. Everyone is following the same system. Why? Because there is already some guide is there. And everyone is, any new employee comes and he is going out and he is leaving the company and he is recruited and he is also following the same. But there is no change actually. He is not dismantling the existing code and writing the new thing. Because the company wala kya karte hain? The company owner, so yeah, will be having the guide. Similarly, the whole creation is done by the creator, and along with him, so there is Vedas are also there. These Vedas are the guide. These Vedas are telling the one which gives the daytime work, who does that, means who gives the heat and the light, and that person name is the sun. And in the night time, who comes and gives the coldness, that person name is the moon. And by drinking that means when you get thirst, Jivatmas get the thirst, and then they need the water. That means so the thirst is quenched by the water only, not the petrol. So that means, so the object which quenches the thirst, it should be given with the same name every time, in every yuga, in millennium. That means not only millennium, in every life of the Brahmaji. Otherwise, what will happen? There will be asymmetrical thing and then full of confusion then. In the company, if everyone come and everyone wrote the new code, then what will happen? Then what will happen? It's simply chaos actually. So that's why how it is happening every time the same thing, because every Brahma is having this some guidebook. Whenever he appear, when he does the 100 years, Devata years, tapasya, and after that Lord is revealing the Veda in his heart, and that Veda is describing the entire creation, how to be happening. Who are the Devatas? That means what kind of object should be called as Devata? What kind of object, what characteristics should have, and that is called as Rakshasa. What object should be called as the Manava? What object should be called as? And everything is guided by whom? Veda is only guiding. So that's why Brahmaji is having the Veda, which is having the 100 crores of the mantras. How many? 100 crores. We have how many? In now, if you count total, if you see, maximum 4 lakhs. So Vedas, if you include maximum, if you maybe few lakhs you will be having. 100 crores, that much Veda he learned. That means how he learned? Lord just revealed in his heart that whole knowledge. And that's a Veda. Brahmaji is the what? What element is there in him? His whole body is made up of intelligence. Full of intelligence, it is made up of. Our body is made up of earth material actually. And we have intelligence little in this much. But his whole body is full of intelligence and he's having that much capacity actually. That species. See how so that's why you will be seeing every time same. In every time creation, that means when the Pramāṇa Vishnu exhales, everything same is coming. One thing is this is, and also that means now you are all the Pramāṇas are coming from where? From the Veda only. Eyes means which you see, ears which you hear. These are also said by whom? Eyes are known as, that means those objects which you used to see, and those objects which you used to hear is also said by the Veda. Entire in this creation, anything you have the name, that name is there in the Veda. And it is describing, this is known, should be known as this. And Brahmaji is following that. Then he created, so Devatas, he created so you can see in the 3rd canto, 20th chapter. So he creates the Devatas, Rakshasas, Daityas, Pretas, Bhutas, Manavas, so and so, all. How he is creating? That is said here. You can see. Surya Chandramasau Dhata Yatha Purvama Kalpayat. So Madhvacharya is quoting a one Shruti actually for this sutra. What sutra? Samana Nama Rupatvacha. This is the Vedanta Sutra. For that, Madhvacharya wrote the commentary, like we have seen in the previously Shankaracharya. So Madhvacharya wrote a commentary. In that commentary, he wrote a one Shruti Vakyam. So Rigveda, from the Rigveda he wrote, and in that what is said? Surya Chandramasau Dhata Yata Purvama Kalpayat. So Brahmaji is creating the Surya and Chandra like how the previous Brahmaji created. The reference is Veda. Veda is having the names. And here Padartha is there. 24 elements Padarthas are there. And when these names are taken, and these 23 elements, so all that means, you know, okay, let me explain from here. This Brahmaji, when he appeared, so he is having so what? Virat Purusha body. This is totally Virat Purusha body only. अरे कहाँ से हटाने? This is Virat Purusha body. All these planets are lying in him only. And he uses this body and he creates the Surya, Chandra, all the Devatas and their bodies, everything. So Brahmaji is having all the living entities with him. He will see the karma of the living entity. Who is having the karma to become a Surya? And then what he will be doing? He will be having the name Veda. In the Vedas, the name Surya is there. Surya. And that name he will utter. Now Surya has to be produced. Then according to the characteristics which explained in the Vedas, that means Surya means the object which gives the light and the heat. And that object, and also one person who is having the karma, so to become Adhisthana Devata for this planet, and he will be also created. So that means he will be uttering the sound, Surya, like you see, that is said in the next mantras. Tathaiva niyamaha kale swaradi. Okay. Here it is given. Example is Sabhuriti Vyaharat Bhumim Asrujat. Yeta iti vai Prajapatir Devan Asrujat. Asrujata Asrugan iti Manushyan Indava iti Pitrun. It is said that when he called, now Devata should appear. Devata, he uttered the sound. But where he came to know this sound? From the Veda. Devata sound he heard in the Veda. And when he uttered this sound Veda, so appropriate properties, whoever is that kind of object which is appropriate for the Devata. So as per the previous, that means creation. So same object is created. That means names are the first and objects are the accordingly created. You're understanding? So now Manushas. Now what he said? Prajapati. When he said the Prajapati, so then automatically all the Prajapatis came. But this word is there in the Prajapati in the Veda. He learned from the Veda. Now Prajapati, then Prajapatis appeared. Devan, then Devatas. Asrugan, then Asrug, that means which are movable. And Manushyan, then Manushas. Indava means Pitru Devatas. Like this, different names he took according to Vedas, and those objectives are created. And one more thing is Anadi Nidhana Nitya Vag Srishta Swayambhuva Ado Veda Ami Divya Yatah Sarvaha Pravarteha Rishinam Namadheyani. And that's why every time the Saptarshis are same. In the every Brahmaji's era, the same Saptarshis will be there. Names are same. Reference is Veda. Then ultimately what you should understand? You should understand that this is Srishti, this whole creation is happened based upon the Vedas. Vedic sounds are there, and according to that, objects are created. Even the Pratyaksha Pramāṇa eyes, they are also coming from the Vedas. And Anumana, everything, whatever Pramāṇas you see, that is a Moolam actually. Otherwise, what will happen? If it is not there, then every creation will be a random creation. Then how they will come to know about the Supreme Lord? And there is no reference, then Brahmaji today will be creating calling the Devatas as Devatas, and the next creation, next day he will be calling the Devatas as Manushas and Manushas as Devatas. Then Manushas will be sitting in the Sarga and the Devatas are just dwelling in the Bhuloka. Everything haphazard. So this should not happen actually. That's the reference is the Veda. So this much extent, that means our shorted thinking, so youth also think that. So they don't have, that means, so a scientist has to know, Earth is known as Earth. Who gave this name? And fire is known as fire. So water is known as water. Who gave these names? What is the origin for this? They should know this actually, first of all. They are simply manipulating the things which are existing. So we want, that means the one which is origin of all this, that kind of pramana we want. And we accept that's why Veda is the pramana, which is cause for the entire creation. Then can you say Veda pramana can be the defective? It's impossible, because whatever is creation is there, that is nothing but. So it is happened according to that only, this material creation. And that Veda is describing about the spiritual world also. Veda is also Ananta actually. There is no limit for this. All the Lord's pastimes are all, that means in the Goloka, there is the Kalpavrukshas and there are the cows and there are the gopis and these, that. All we came to know from where? From the Veda. That is nothing but Bhagavatam is part of the Vedas. And which is not having any origin. That means it is self-evident. You may say now, Prabhu, you are showing all the Vakyas inside in the Veda and that only you are taking and you are establishing Veda. Yes, that is a merit only. That is not demerit. That is merit. Why? It is self-evident. It is self-evident. Nobody is there to prove that. Okay. I am crossing time actually. Sorry. Oh, I forgot it. Oh, 6 minutes. 12:15 we started. Just another 2 minutes. I will conclude today's session. That's why I'm seeing why students are leaving actually. Okay, tomorrow I'll finish anyway, because we'll stick to the time. Because everyone might be having their own commitments. Okay, so ask questions now. Okay, let me raise the hands. So Prakash Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. What I'm just exploring whatever you told us and whatever knowledge that we gain. Is it that the computer and the internet is just a reverse engineering of the Veda? And number two, is it that our rishis and gurus were going to caves and doing austerity and penance, and they were getting all the knowledge? So they were simply downloading that knowledge from Veda systems upstairs in the God's head.
Yes. So they are all on the order of, they are not doing their own. By the order of the Swayambhuva, means Brahmaji. So they have Guru. And he is instructing them, you go and do the austerity. And they are doing the austerity and they are receiving the knowledge directly from the Vedas. Vedas they are receiving. They are that entering, the Vedas are entering into their heart. It's a downloading, yes.
So the system was perfectly well when people were saying that going to jungle or into gufa and getting the knowledge is absurd. You have to only get knowledge in the university in front of a computer or in front of a teacher. So whatever our Vedas say, it is absolutely true.
Yes. So going to the forest is not the cause for the getting the knowledge. Following the instruction of the Guru is the cause for the getting the knowledge.
Yes.
Doing the austerity as per instruction of the Guru is the cause for the getting the knowledge.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So Radhanuga.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, did you call out my name, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I was just wanting to know when Brahmaji calls out for Surya or he calls out for any of the Devatas or anyone in this material world also, Bhulok. So all the ingredients which are required to create or to manifest them is taken from that loka. Like from Bhulok, we have these 5 tattvas and they come together to make Manav. For making a Devata, when they call out Surya, then all the ingredients to make Surya are taken from Swargloka.
See, all those ingredients, if you want to make Surya at that time, even Swargaloka is not there. I said that's why Brahmaji is creating the every day also, and also is doing some creation beginning of his life, the first day of his life. So that's why he is doing some creation in the beginning day. That's all. He is not creating again and again. Example Surya and Chandra, and example the Chatushkumaras, example the Prajapatis. They are not created every day, but some things are created every day. Example is Devatas, Manushas, and so on. So that's why you have to understand. So what is created when? So and another thing is whatever ingredients are needed for these. So those are taken from where? From the Virat Purusha. Virat Purusha is nothing but what? Is a Virat, means is the coming from the 23 elements. That egg is there na initially. When the 23 elements egg is formed, filled with the 23 elements, that egg only is taking the shape of Virat Purusha. And that Virat Purusha is having all what the 23 elements, Mahat, Ahankara, and the Pancha Tanmatras, Pancha Mahabhutas, Pancha Gnanendriyas, Pancha Karmendriyas, Manas, Indriya Adhisthana Devatas, all these elements are there in that. So these are all, everyone's body, your body, my body, dog body, plant body is made up of all these 23 elements only. And even the Surya, Chandra, planets, everything is made up of these 23 elements. And those elements are taken and made. That means when he said this word, so Surya, then Surya appeared. When he called out the Surya, then Surya appeared. And he called out the Chandra, Chandra appeared. When he called out the Bhumi, then Bhumi appeared, like that.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, next to Siddhilala Samadhi.
Srila Prabhupada uses the term axiomatic truth. What is this?
Which cannot be questioned. Which is, so which is there eternally. That means like Vedas, whatever statements are there, those are axiomatic. That means why you should call Surya only as Surya? Why could you have given another name like Chandra name? So no, it is there in the Veda like that. Why we have to only have 5 fingers only in the hand? Why not the 10 fingers? Why we have to have legs only on the down and why not the? So why we have to only 2 eyes and why not the 3 eyes? And who decided this? And this nomenclature and this shape, who decided this? And this name for this object, who decided? Veda decided. These are all axiomatic truths. Nobody can question this. Yeah. Kalpana Mataji. Okay, Sheila. Adikesha Prabhu. Why you are talking?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Kalpana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Just a silly question maybe. Does this mean that as Brahmaji was using all these Sanskrit mantras, does that mean that Sanskrit words are the most important? In fact, we use English water, fire, etc. But yes. I have a sort of very, how to say, I'm very, I get a lot of feelings when I hear the Sanskrit mantras, So that's what I'm asking this question, whether we really must learn Sanskrit and learn the mantras. Is this very important also?
We are not becoming Brahmaji, okay? So if you want to become Brahmaji, then you should learn the Sanskrit mantras. Because next time if you want to create, then you should know mantras. But we want to become pure devotees. So this already Prabhupada gave the books. And if we read those and if we practice according to that, we can go back. But Sanskrit is the origin of the everything. All the languages are coming from there only. If you see, the deformation of the words are nothing but the other language. Yes, there are so many internet also you can find. There's a similarities. Like you can see first Sanskrit, there is a Greek and Latin, especially Western languages, English and other languages. So you can see there is a first, they are similar with the Greek and Latin. And Greek and Latin is similar with the Sanskrit, like that. So you can see the shades actually. Shades are there, some deformation of the words. So that is the thing. So, but that's why you can conclude that origin is the Sanskrit language and it is used by all these devatas and also by the Brahmaji. And this whole the Veda is in the Sanskrit language only. That's the original language, eternal language. That's why it is said as eternal, Anadi. It is there in the Anadi Kala. So, and as a devotee, our goal is what? So we have to understand those Vedas. That way we need Sanskrit. But is everyone is needed that to learn? No need actually. If so, because the Vedartha is explained in the another languages. So like in the now we have books in English. So the ultimately Artha, that the meaning of the Vedas are given to us, and also the prescribed procedures, especially Bhakti procedure, is also given in our language and it is explained. So then we can use that procedure and we will follow that procedure and we'll make perfect our life. So, but in every society, some scholars are needed to defend their sampradaya. Some boys, especially Gurukulis, young boys, and who has Brahminical tendencies, those are like a fence guards. That means they're the guards actually. They are the protectors of the sampradaya. Such a people, some few people has to learn. Sanskrit has to be learned by someone, and like they are like a guards actually, like the soldiers. So, but other in the city, like in the country, is there everyone no need to become a soldier actually. Few are becoming the soldier and they are protecting, all others are so living in that country. So soldiers are also living in the country, but to live in that country, they should save it. They should protect. It's not that everyone has to become soldier and join in that. Maybe some countries have that rule, mandatory rule, everyone should become a soldier. So you leave those countries, but in general, if take the example, this is that. So that's why there's no need to learn Sanskrit for everyone, but someone has to learn. Okay, next Vrajanand. Okay, Adikesha Prabhu, I took his name, no? So
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, done but
yes.
from.
Pranam.
As we say, Vedas are eternal, and it is the history of the universe. Is it correct?
Yes.
And
Yes.
and the same, why the same story repeats in every day of Brahma? Only the living entities are changed, and the same story repeats. Is it so?
Yeah. So same story means variety versions are there in the same story also. In the
And
story
only
version.
versions are different.
Versions are there. Like you see Satyavrata, that says 14 Manus are there. And these Manus stories are little bit slight differences will be there in the next day and the next day, like that. Varieties are there.
Living entities are also different in that case.
Living entities also. Karma, according to that karma, those will be different.
According to
That
karma, yes.
That role, to take that role, whoever is there, those suitable Jivatma will be taken.
Right, sir. Right, Prabhuji. Acha, you said that the sun and the moon are also destroyed at the end of the day. Is it so?
No. Sun and moon will not be destroyed.
No.
So
Okay.
those that's why Brahmaji having the day. To get day, he needs sun.
The planets remain as it is.
Planets remain as it is.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So Vrajanand.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Pranam, my obeisance.
Pranam, Prabhu. Pranam.
Yes. It's about the Purusha Shuktam. Can be Purusha Shuktam considered as the Mula of the Vedas?
So Purusha Suktam is not the Mula of the Vedas. Purusha Sukta is a part of the Vedas. Purusha Suktam is also part of the Vedas. And Purusha Suktam, like you see, this Virat Purusha is lying. So then you have to wake up him. So after that means that's why you have mantras. That means these mantras are telling about the how. That means nobody wake up the Virat Purusha. That means these mantras are there. So how the Virat Purusha woke up, and then from that Virat Purusha, how the creation happened actually. That means Brahmaji is creating, na? So that means Brahmana, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Sudras, and this. So those are all coming from the Virat Purusha only. I said na Brahmaji creates everything. So from the body of the Virat Purusha only. So then, Brahmano Mukhamasi, so Brahmanas are coming from the mouth of the Virat Purusha. So he is taking from there actually. So like this Sukta, this Purusha Sukta is describing how the different Varnas and different Ashramas and so on so came. So which is used by the Brahmaji, which is part of the Vedas.
Yes, yes. And also in our Western vocabulary, we have a word which is archetype. Do you know this word, archetype? Archetypes is coming from archa, means ancient, and type means noting. So can we use this word to actually to define the origin of the words and origin of everything?
Words are eternally existing in the Vedas. So in the form of in the language of Sanskrit, they are having the swaras, udatta, anudatta, and so on. So I'm not getting your question, Prabhu.
Archetype is a word used by the intellectuals and more intellectuals to define actually the origin of each word and of each action and everything. So they are using these words. Maybe we can use
that archetype will be the Veda.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Satyavrata. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
My question is, say the Lord is existing eternally. His energies are existing eternally. Vedas are existing eternally. And somebody questions why we should believe that. And our answer is that, can you produce an alternative?
Yes.
So doesn't it sound like Arthapati?
It's like it's Arthapati only. Yeah, this is the Arthapati Pramāṇa. You are ruling out all the possibles, like Pino Devadatta Devana Bhungte. It means Nattam Bhungte. That means Mota Devadat, the fatty Devadat, healthy Devadat is not eating. Is not eating the daytime. Means what? There is only one possibility. One probability is there. That is nighttime eating, because he's healthy and no choice. So but here, even it's a more powerful actually here. Thing is, we clearly came to the conclusion that our Mula Pramāṇa should have these characteristics. Like it should be self-evident, and it should be no origin of anything, and no one is no dependent on anyone. So such a thing. And any sober man will come to here. And then that kind of thing is, nobody can show anything actually. Finished actually, there itself. Anyone will be smashed out actually there.
Right.
If anyone is, yeah. Okay.
And stronger evidence means, and a stronger Shabda.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not possible, no?
Yeah. So that's why our intelligence, that's a Jiva Goswami, how we went, the procedure. That's why I want a PPT on this. I don't know. So a few devotees came, maybe 2-3, but we need at least 10 devotees, because 10 sessions and 10 devotees they take, then they can do peacefully. But we'll be giving the general guidelines, and then driving, then project leader will be there. So he will be guiding. So how to do, and also the theme also how to follow. So we give basics of the how to do the PPT also. So we have 1 or 2 experts. So, but the thing is, so we have to make them very systematically this, so that we should use this for the beginners. Whoever is coming to our Krishna consciousness, we should introduce Krishna consciousness with this, because our Satsandarbhas are the sequential books. And for the 0 to, it will take from the newcomer to, it's the Preeti Sandarbha is the full expert Siddha till the Siddha. So that's why this has to be introduced to the new devotees, and any universities and colleges, they should use this PPT actually, and nobody can question on this actually. They has to be finished after that. So such a presentation we want. And better is if someone come up with the examples, Anumana and the Pratyaksha, with the modern examples. So even and we have to analyze, and we have to see in the examples there should not be defect. So wrong examples we should not take. And with that examples, if we come up, and then it will be very nice actually. Then after that, what is there actually then? Where he will go? Then even if he reject it, then he will be searching, and he will not getting any peace, and he will he will be dying with any peace only. He will die actually, because he will not find any answer for that.
Right.
That's intellectual surrenderance actually. This Jiva Goswami is a genius actually. Okay, so next. That's why I request anyone is interested, so please give your names. So, and I need even few more names and who understood subject matter and also good in the PPT. Then it will make our work easy. So that is the expectation actually. So Sridharshini Mata.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji Dandapana. The question is, as you said, if the other things follows the Vedas, then Upavedas are also considered to be Vedas, which means they are also non-defective Shabdas. But in the case
Shastra.
of
Yeah, we consider them as Śāstra. Not Veda. Veda is Veda only. And others who are following him are known as Śāstra.
Okay, friend. So we call the Srimad Bhagavatam as Amala Purana, but other Puranas, should I understand that they have defects, other Puranas, and Bhagavatam only is Amala Purana?
Oh, these discussions will come in the next. All Jiva Goswami will discuss. So these are all having this kind of, that means Shiva is said Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what is the way to understand and so on and so. Many things are there. That means after accepting Vedas, whatever possible doubts are there, so everything he answers. He takes care how the extent any human intelligence will go, that what extent it will go. He thinks all those possibilities and he writes the book. Then you cannot go beyond him actually, because he's a super intelligent and master. He's a partial of the Lord, and we cannot go beyond him actually, any human being. So that's why I cannot cover in this course, these are all. So when we are going to establish Srimad Bhagavatam, before that you will be, so all these things will be discussed. Okay, Devendra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, when you mentioned this, ete evacha nityatvam, so like Shankara quotes this. So when here Vedas are mentioned, so does Vedas mean Shrutis or Vedas means Shruti, Smriti, Pran, everything?
Vedas means 4 Vedas and the 5 Vedas. Vedas are total 5. So Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharva and the Purana and Ithihasas. These are the Vedas.
Okay, but we have Shruti and Smriti different, right?
Yeah, Vedas are known as Shruti. And Smriti is after, that means some sages they are remembering and writing. So that is known as Smriti.
Okay, but the Puranas and Itihasas, they come under Shruti, Smriti, no?
The Veda, Panchama Veda.
Okay. So actually I had this confusion. So one more question regarding this only. I heard that, okay, again, I think you clarified it, but I'll just confirm it once again. Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata, and I heard that Mahabharata is part of Itihasas, and it is part of Smriti. So that confusion I had.
Yeah, Itihasa is also part. Panchama Veda. Bhagavatam is the highest authority. It is saying, na? Itihasa Purana Panchama Veda. That's a sloka is the first canto, 4th chapter.
Okay.
We follow Bhagavatam. Yeah.
Fine. So Shruti meaning it's 4 Vedas and Panchama Veda. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
4 Vedas, especially 4 Vedas we call Shruti, and because Shruti is having the difference is there. Because 5th Veda and remaining 4 Vedas, some difference is there. 4 Vedas exclusively called as Shruti, and because Swara Veda is there, they have Swara Veda. And here there is no Swara Veda. In the Panchama Veda, there is no Swara Veda. That means Udatta, Anudatta, Swarita. These rules are not followed in the Panchama Veda. And 4 Vedas it is followed. That's why they call exclusively these 4 Vedas are called as Shruti.
Okay. That's true.
Okay.
Thank you.
These are all discussed in the next later portions actually. In the same way. Namavatar.
Hare Krishna. So, Prabhuji, at the time of creation, Brahmaji gets the information from the Vedas, and accordingly he creates. So, what is a part of Virat Purusha here? And the 23 elements, these are also coming from Vedas?
Yeah. So, these 23 elements, these are all actually Vedas. So see, how happens? Karnanusa Vishnu, when he glances on Prakriti, she got agitated and 23 elements are produced. Those are the Mahat, Ahankara and so on. All these elements became, that means it come together, became small eggs. Those are known as Brahmandas. And that means every Pramāṇa is nothing but a egg. It is having the what 23 elements, ingredients. And from these 23 elements, ingredients, the different Srishti is done. That means Devatas, the Prajapatis, and the everything, all these human beings, Pitur Devatas, these are all created. And before Brahmaji, so these are there. So that's 23 elements agitating the Prakriti. At that time, Brahmaji is not there.
Yes,
but Lord Glance itself is doing that everything.
Yes, Guru. Yes. So this is clear. So that means the Purusha avatars, it comes from Garbhodaksha Vishnu.
All these, yes, Virat Purusha, what is the role? So from that egg, actually Virat Purusha comes. That means Virat Purusha body is fully filled with the 23 elements. And from those, so Virat Purusha only based up using that Virat Purusha, that means body. So only Brahmaji creates the different species. Okay. Unmute it, bro. I muted you, mute all this. You are not able to unmute. Oh, okay. You can unmute.
Yes, sorry, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, Saptarishis are created every day of the life of Brahma?
No, one time only. These rishis means not this Saptarshis, sorry, Prajapatis. I'm wrongly using. Saptarshis are created every day. Sorry. This in Manvantara, the rishis, Indra, and also Devatas, and the Rupa, that means one avatara, and the Manu and Manuputras. These items are created every day. So every day, and also every Manvantara they are created, changing. But I'm not saying Saptarshis, sorry, the Prajapatis.
Yes.
Prajapatis means, those.
Yes, the progenitors.
Yeah, progenitors, Marichi and so on. Kashyapa, Marichi, these are all.
Yes. Prabhuji, elaborated to this question. So what happens actually on the 51st day of Brahmaji? There is some change in Bhagavatam. That's what I don't recollect right away. So can you just give me a hint on it, Prabhuji, please? There are
different explanations are there actually here in the 50th of the this. So the whole, that means Brahmaji also enters into the Garbhodaksha Vishnu through that Nala. That means that flower, lotus flower. Through that he enters, and he also comes back. And also at that time, so Chatushkumaras also coming back. So that's why we are seeing in the Bhagavatam is a story of the Padmakalpa. Bhagavatam, whatever the story you see, the third canto, the 12th chapter, which is describing about the appearance of the Chatushkumaras. So how to understand these Chatushkumaras are coming in the 50th day of the Brahmaji, 51st day of the, after 50 years, the first day. So it is the first day actually. 50 years are over and is the 51st year is the first day actually. On this first day, how we are seeing these Sanat Kumaras coming, then Vishwanath explains like this. So all they went and they came back. And then at that time, they came back. That means everything, all Chatushkumaras also entered into the Brahmaji, and Brahmaji entered into the Garbhodaksha Vishnu. And then after that, so at the ending of the 50th year, and then 51st year starts, and then he comes out first day, and he is taking out all these Chatushkumaras and all the Prajapatis. So that's what we are seeing here, like that he explains. That's but other Jiva Goswami gives another explanation. Okay, this we'll discuss later.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Kusum Leela Prabhu, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, universal creation is in two parts, Sarga and Visarga. So these Vedas are applicable for Visarga only, na?
No, both.
Acha, both. Okay. Can you please little bit
in the Sarga also? So that means Vedas are describing how Sarga happened also. Karnano Sai Vishnu glancing on the Prakriti. If it is not described in the Vedas, then we cannot come to know this.
Yes, true. And Prabhuji, another question is that in stories and events written in Vedas are repeating in every yugas, and variation in roles is it that because of little independence given to the jivas? For that, little variations are there.
No. What I am saying, one Prabhu asked, na. So, like Mahabharata story, whatever happened. So, is it going to happen every time the same, or some variations will be there? I said, in Vedas, there are variety of the Mahabharata stories are there, and those will take place.
Okay.
Like Narsingh Leela also, there are variety of the Narsingh Leelas are there, and those will be taking place. It's not that the Veda only one type of Narsingh Leela is explained. Many are explained.
Okay. Understood. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Next, Sima Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Pranam. I was waiting since so long to ask about the rishis only, but you just now given the answer.
Yes.
That Sapt Rishi were created every Kalpa, because I read that in the 13th chapter.
Very good. Very good. It comes in the 8th canto. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Next, Shekhar.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, you mentioned during the time of destruction, the eternal fire dissolves all jivatmas. So when you say dissolve them, they don't get destroyed, but they move up above the Swaraloka and they move on top of and they situate themselves in the top 3 lokas.
No. I think something missing is there. What I said, till the Swarga, whatever jivas are there, those all their bodies are burnt out. That means jivatmas, along with their karma, entering into the Hiranyagarbha. That means Brahmaji. So they enter into the Hiranyagarbha's body.
Right.
But jivas who are in the Maharloka, those will be, because of not able to bear this heat of this fire, so they go to the higher planets. Okay. So that means Janaloka, Tapoloka, and Satyaloka.
Okay. And I think I read somewhere, but you can please correct me. There is only one person, one rishi who has balcony seat to the creation and the destruction. Am I right? Says Markandeya.
The one rishi?
He's the Rishi Markandeya. I think he's the only one who gets balcony seat to view destruction and creation. Am I right?
Balcony, I didn't get to.
Markandeya Rishi is the only one who witnesses the creation and destruction cycles.
No,
correct?
These are all not only he, other rishis also they can see. The only day, in the day ending of the day, what is happening. So, and also beginning of the day, how they are created. All the above planets who are there, they can see.
Oh, okay. So it is not just.
They are all witness. Yeah.
Okay.
They have the same lifespan of Brahmaji. Like Sanat Kumaras, these are all yes.
Right. And through the devotional
potential. I don't know, some Prabhuji is. Yes. Yes, Prabhu.
Can I proceed?
Yeah.
Okay. So through the devotional practices, or maybe through fruitive practices, is it possible for a human being who is born? I mean, when I say human being, of course, I'm referring to the planet Earth. For jivatmas who are born here to reach the potency of close to Brahmaji, is that something? Is it?
If you do 100 lives karma perfectly, without any mistake, then that jiva can become Brahma.
I see. Okay, but not that I'm interested, but just curious to understand that, of course, following the Guru's instructions itself is a big thing for one lifetime. I think in that itself, if one crosses one lifetime without any mistakes, that in itself is a big deal.
Because Brahma means he is the perfect knower of all the rules and regulations.
Right.
To become that, one should be qualified like that. Then only he can perform that work. Oh, this karma is this karma is meant for this, that.
Correct.
That practice is needed.
Yes, I think you use the correct word, qualification. Who is qualified?
Yes.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Vishal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. I have a question about Mahabharata. So, as we just talked about that Mahabharata is part of Vedas, right?
Yeah.
Now, if we talk about Indians, they all don't read Vedas, but all of them know Mahabharata. So, one may ask this question, wasn't anyone knowing Mahabharata at that time? So, they could have prevented this war maybe? Because it's given in Vedas already.
Yes. So you see in the future what is going to happen, like example. So Kalki is going to come. Nobody can stop this. So
no,
karma
I meant,
karma enforces. Karma enforces. That means karma is because everyone is controlled by the karma. So according to that, they'll be getting the desires. Because your desires. So yes, of course, Jivatma is having the little independence. That's why it is selecting the desires which are coming from the karma. So that's a karma is playing a greater role actually. So all this Duryodhana, if you ask him to not to, that means give at least some small piece, that means nook, that means the tip of the needle, how much it occupies, that much space he also doesn't want to give. So that means his karma is like that. That means he has such a desire. I am the only one king here. And these Pandavas should not be given a single village. If I give them, they will be. So once again, become a problem for me. Simply wipe off. So it doesn't mean that the Vedavas and everyone knows, but some rishis, that not everyone knows, but some people they know. That means they know the Śāstras. And one more thing. So one more thing is, those things are not much famous actually. Now in this Kali Yuga, certain portions of Bhagavatam is very much famous. And in the previous Yugas, some certain, in the out of Vedas also, some parts like Ramayana is famous. About the Rama, and they were worshipping the Rama, and that is famous. And that is a moral story. They moralities and the things they will learn from that. And like that. And otherwise some stories. Like that, these books, so some specific otherwise, the stories which are explained in the Vedas, that they know. So that is not so prevalently is appearing. Like holy name, in the Kali Yuga, it's famous. But it's not, doesn't mean that the Kali Yuga holy name is not there in the previous Yugas. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made it popular. So similarly, in the Dwapar Yuga, Mahabharata is not very famous. But it is part of the Vedas. It's not practiced like that.
Yeah, understood. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, Shekhar Prabhu, you have one more?
Yes, sir, Prabhuji, one, I wouldn't say final, but I think, by the grace of the Lord, these questions keep popping. See, you mentioned the Hiranyagarbha is like, it contains the Virat Purusha's body has a lot of eggs, Brahmandas. That means these are parallel, indicative of parallel universes, right? Okay.
Virat Purusha body is not having the andas. Virat Purusha is there in one anda. And in that anda, and that like in anda, in the egg, the yellow material will be there. From there, so body is created for the chicken. Right. Similarly, so in one Brahmanda, so 23 elements matter is there, and
Understood.
that took the form of Virat Purusha.
Understood. So there are parallel universes across
millions,
right? So does each of these universe have something very similar leelas that happen across?
Yeah, those are all leelas. Some similar, various versions of the leelas you can.
So will there be another Vishal Kumar, Rajesh Bhai Gohal there? Will there be another Shekhar there? Will there be another Gopal Das
These are
there?
because we are not there in the Vedas. Our stories will not be there. We are individual jivas. But the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, and Krishna, and these will be there. What are described in the Vedas, that will be there.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's story is not described.
Okay, so basically the divine leelas that are described in the Vedas only get played across the universes.
Ah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Thank you, Prabhu.
This I already told actually while class also. Okay. Rameshwari Mother.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mother.
I always had questions about these universes, many universes, and then the same thing is happening in all the universe. Where do we find the Pramāṇa for this, like so that I convince myself, because I find it difficult to digest this part.
Only Pramāṇa is the Veda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which one in the Veda, like which part, like Upanishad says or something says something.
You can see the Bhagavad Sandarbha. You read the Bhagavad Sandarbha. So Lord's Vibhuttam is established. There you can see all these Jiva Goswami explains based upon the Bhagavad. Okay. Bhagavad Sandarbha. Write it. Virendra Kumar.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, you said that Veda, it is having 100 crores of slokas. So practically it is not possible in this Kali Yuga that we are Manda. It is not possible to access it. So Prabhu, what, I mean, for preaching, Prabhu, what can we offer to the people in general?
We have to offer Bhagavatam. Only Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. Devendra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. You might have covered this, but I just wanted to confirm again. As we were I think first or second or third class, you said that just assume that there exists a non-defective Shraddha. So then you gradually proved it is Vedas. So if someone questions that why we have to that assumption that let there be non-defective Shraddha. So if there is nothing like that, that there cannot be anything non-defective Shraddha. So if that is a argument, then like how we should account it.
So because this is our explanation. So in our explanation there is nothing wrong, no? So to assume, because in mathematics you don't assume, in the science you don't assume. Assuming is the wrong thing.
No. It's a correct practice. But at the end, we say like something like LHS is RHS, so our assumption is correct. Something like that. So where we have to end. So that we can.
Yeah, this is the standard method. This is not a question, but any scientist will accept this method. So-called any sober man, so will accept this method.
Yeah,
everyone will accept. Bro. This is because in the mathematics regularly we practice this.
Yeah. So bro, that's what. So at the end, we have some result, and then we say that our assumption was right. So what is that result? That's what I was. So in the case of non-defective Shraddha, so what that result we have to arrive at, so that we can say that so something like non-defective Shraddha exists.
So non-defective Shabda, which is, because let us take someone is free from the 4 defects and it can correct the Pratyaksha and Anumana and other Pramāṇas. Okay. And it can be the king and it is independent. It is not dependent on the other Pramāṇas. So these are the things we assume, and he is the king, like that we established. And now we search who is that in this whole universe. And then that is nothing but the Vedas.
Okay. So only thing that we find all these qualities what we want in Vedas. So that then our assumption that non-defective Shabda exists is there, and we have found it as Vedas. So like that.
Yes. So if you say that's a kutarkas, that means someone he doesn't want to follow this method itself. Kutarka karkashaha. Then what can we do? Then they want to go in the wrong route. So
got it, bro.
So, and also one thing, we proved whatever is there in the material world is defective. That is also we proved. That's Pratyaksha and Anumana and the other forms of these two only. Other Pramāṇas also if you consider. And those are all obviously defective only. There is nobody can question on this. And that's why we assumed some non-defective. Why we assumed also reason is there. We are not assuming just blindly. Because so other things are all defective. Jiva Goswami, how he began. So since other Pramāṇas like because Pramāṇas how many are existing? That is 10. No more than other means everyone will accept this. And in that Shabda also, Shabda everyone accept. In that like this kind of Shabda is there assumed. So why I am not assuming others also, he said. Why don't you can ask question like this. Why didn't you assume Prabhu Pratyaksha? Some non-defective Pratyaksha, non-defective Anumana, then we broke that already because it cannot be non-defective because Brahmat Doshadi, so Rahitam is not possible like that. And so that's why he came, that's why you have to go once again. If you go and meditate on this, many things cannot be explained. No? So then there's will be revealed in the heart.
Yeah.
So then you'll glorify Jiva Goswami like anything, and he'll surrender to you.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So
Thank you so
again
much.
go to the process. So that's why we clearly said that why we are not assuming 9. And in that Shabda also, not the Shabda we are taking simply. And assume this only. Then this can be independent. Everyone will accept this. Then who is that? Then that is this.
Yeah. Thank you so much. You nicely summarized all like entire discussion of last 8 days. Thank you so much.
Yes. Sadaya Mataji. Sadaya Mataji. You are there or not? Okay. Anyone? You can unmute Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I couldn't unmute myself. As this Dhanut Pranam Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, as this karma topic was touched today, that if we lead 100 lives mistake free, then a person can be promoted to another loka. It's just a curiosity to know whether there is any mention about this karma
Statement
philosophy in any book. Like, do we find it, Prabhuji?
Statement is wrong. Any Jivatma do the 100 lives perfectly karma, he is promoted to Brahmaji. You are saying another loka.
Right. Oh, right, Prabhuji. Right. So, Prabhuji, like, if there are like, where can I read more about it? I have the curiosity to know.
You read Bhagavatam.
Right, Prabhuji. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
All the creation, everything, second canto, very detailed explaining third canto, and how this creation happened, and how Brahma is creating all these devatas, procedures, everything is given.
Right, Prabhuji. Actually, it's like high tech. It's I feel it is all about highly elevated souls.
No,
So,
simple thing.
right, Prabhuji. Right. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Kalpana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, it's just to answer this question, I remember reading in the Bhagavatam, and one devotee also told me a bit more advanced, that everyone comes to the material world, because I asked the question, what do we come by? You have said we have come because we are rebellious souls, but how did we come? And he said, first time we came all as only Brahmas, he told me. So now you said that after doing 100 lives of Dharma, you can hope to become a Dharma. When you came into the material world itself, you came as a Brahma. That's what I was told. And I think I read this in the Bhagavatam. So please clarify this point.
Yeah. So when we are there here from the beginningless in this material world, and it's like some different opinions are there in this topic. Okay, but Jiva Goswami and other acharyas, even Prabhupada also says, from the beginningless Jivatmas are there in this material world. Okay, Anadi Paratattva Jnana Sansarga. And when you do the karma, accordingly, then you will go back. This is the answer. Okay, next, any questions? Namatar, yes.
Yes, Guruji. Actually, I typed it, so I just want to ask one question. So,
yes.
Purusha Sukta and Virat Purusha same?
No, Purusha Suktam is a Suktam, Prabhu. Is a sentences, mantras.
It's a mantra, Suktas. Okay.
So, 6th chapter is nothing but the description of Purusha Sukta. This is the second canto, 6th chapter. Is saying the description of Purusha Sukta means when the Purusha Sukta, the mantras are telling how the creation happens. The same thing. So the 6th chapter also is telling about how the creation happened. So Purusha Sukta is nothing but the mantras which describe about the creation, secondary creation.
Yes. One more question about the Bhakti Sandarbha, what you recently just now said. So it is also from Jiva Goswami. So it is elaborately explaining the Bhakti totally in whole sum, or how it is?
Yeah, it explains the whole sum Bhakti, everything. Vaidya Sadhana Bhakti, Raganu Sadhana Bhakti.
And we have done this course already. This course is already finished. No, you have taken it already. No?
Which course, Prabhu?
The Bhakti Sandarbha.
No, we are taking the different courses on the various topics like types of the sadhus. That means sadhu prakaraha, types of bhakti prakaraha. Then Shraddha and Sharanagati. Shared is Shraddha. That course is over. Now, like that, we are not teaching entire book. That book already I taught 2 times actually. And now those videos are there in our channel, Golopwani channel. You can find.
Okay.
So you can,
thank you.
Those all videos. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhu, I wanted to ask, the Purusha Suktam is actually glorification verses of the Lord, right? Or is it only description of creation?
It's a 3/4 creation. It's a 1/4, 1 pada. It's a creation.
So 1 pada of the creation alone is described in the Purusha Sukta, is it?
1 pada means it's not that the 1/4 of the, but Lord's potencies, 1 pada, Martyam. So how the material world. So it means these all.
That is material world creation. That is the spiritual world creation, which is 3/4 is not covered, but the material world creation alone is covered.
Creation is not 3/4, but the opulences are 3/4. That's Abhayam, Amritam, Kshemam. These 3 are there. That's why the 3/4 of his opulences is manifesting in the spiritual world. 1/4 of his opulence is manifesting in the material world. Spiritual world and material world are unlimited. There is no 1/4 or 3/4. They are unlimited, but the energies, it means 3 attributes, that means 3 qualities of his energy are manifesting there. Like Amritam means deathlessness, Abhayam, fearlessness, Kshemam, auspiciousness. These 3 are the gunas, actually, properties of the every object in the spiritual world. And every object in the material world is Martyam, is destructible.
So these 3 opulences will be described in the Purusha Sukta, is it?
No, 1.
Only 1 opulence is described. Which is that opulence, Prabhu?
Martyam.
Martyam. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So that means like how these ingredients came. Why these ingredients came? Just Brahmaji wants to worship the Lord. For that sake, these ingredients came. Like there's some. You can see the 6th chapter, 2nd chapter.
Is it glorification also of the Lord? Does it contain glorification also of the Lord?
No, Mataji. 6th chapter is Brahmaji is explaining to the Narada the creation. 5th and 6th chapters.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha. कौन है सुखदा?
Sukhada.
Yes,
I have a basic question, Prabhuji. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "Aham sarvasva Prabhu, matta sarva pravartate." How could we connect this with Vedas, Prabhuji?
Aham sarvasya Prabhu. That means everything is my energy.
Yeah.
Because Vedas also. That means Anadir Adir. Adi means what? He is the cause of everything. That means how he is cause? Being is energy. He is the energetic. So he is the cause. That is the meaning.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Bhakta ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We'll meet tomorrow. We'll discuss few more things and also day after tomorrow. And then we'll end the course. Okay, 2 days.